President-elect Donald Trump will take the oath of office in the Capitol Rotunda tomorrow morning for his inauguration, and he is already in the nation's capital, where he held one last rally before he becomes president for the second time.
Starting tomorrow, I will act with historic speed and strength and fix every single crisis facing our country. We have to do it.
Law enforcement sources tell CBS News that tens of thousands of visitors are expected to be in Washington, and South Floridians from both sides of the political spectrum made the trip to Washington ahead of tomorrow's events. That's where we find our very own anchor, Pastrana, with reaction.
By this time tomorrow, the Trump family will be back in the White House. But before they can resettle into their new digs, they have a slew of events to attend on Monday. And that includes a much more intimate swearing-in inauguration ceremony at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. But because the events have been moved indoors, that means many of the South Floridians who traveled here to witness history firsthand will now be left out in the cold. But they're making the most of it. The cafecito keeping spirits up and people warm in D.C. despite an Arctic blast derailing many inauguration plans.
And even though it was moved indoors, for me, it was important to be a part of this very historic moment. President Trump pulled off the miracle on ice, the comeback kid, despite all of the attacks against him.
A who's who of South Florida politicians in our nation's capital for the festivities. Leaders on both sides of the aisle are hoping for unity and bipartisanship to get things done.
Well, this is exciting. I mean, this is my first inaugural as a congressman. I've been here as a state rep and as a kid to several inaugurals. And so, look, it's a new 4 years, new administration's coming in. I think the American people want to try to see us work together where we can.
It should be positive, and I hope it is positive, and also unifying. We need to unify as a country, and quit fighting each other so much.
At the FIU Center in D.C., students, alums, and elected leaders mixed and mingled, including two of Donald Trump's ambassador picks, Miami-Dade Commissioner Kevin Cabrera and healthcare businessman Benjamin Leon Jr.
This is my fourth one, and I'm very, very proud to be here for the inauguration and representing a city that is growing tremendously.
And it's always just a historic moment, right? The peaceful transition of power, the ceremony, and more than anything, I think that the pride in America, the pride in our country is evident.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Meanwhile, the president-elect was pumping up crowds at his Make America Great Again victory rally at the Capital One Arena, the same arena that will host the celebration tomorrow being held in lieu of a traditional parade.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day.
Visitors from Miami who hope to witness the inauguration and parade firsthand are now scrambling to make a new viewing plan.
Unfortunately, this year, obviously, the weather is causing a little bit of changes, but that's fine. We're here just to enjoy the moment and with everyone and just feel good about this country.
We've noticed the security presence really increasing here throughout the day in Washington, D.C. That means more fencing, more road closures, more visible, and I'm sure not so visible law enforcement officers. In fact, many police officers and deputies from South Florida actually came here to Washington to back up the Secret Service and the National Guard. We're talking officers from North Bay Village, Sweetwater, Miami Beach Police, and the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. In Washington, D.C., Pastrana, CBS News, Miami.